Good morning, Mr. Adams. Please, make yourself comfortable. Thank you for coming to the Renaissance Hotel today.
Good morning, Miss Hayek. Thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine. I've been looking forward to this conversation. To begin, could you please take a few moments to introduce yourself and walk me through your professional journey?
Certainly. I hold a bachelor's degree in hospitality management from École Hôtelière de Lausanne, and I have dedicated the last 9 years to the luxury hotel industry. I began my career as a banquet server at the Dorchester, which gave me a ground-level understanding of 5-star service standards. I then progressed to roles with increasing responsibility, most recently serving as the assistant banquet manager at the Grand Plaza in London. In that position, I managed a team of 40 staff members and oversaw operations for events ranging from high-profile corporate summits to intimate royal wedding receptions. My background has equipped me with strong operational expertise and a deep passion for creating flawless guest experiences, which I am eager to bring to the Renaissance Hotel.
That is a very impressive and well-rounded background. It is clear you have built a strong foundation in luxury service. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you, Miss Hayek. I have always admired the Renaissance brand, so this is a wonderful opportunity.
I am glad to hear that. Let's move on and discuss that experience in more detail. Can you describe your step-by-step process for planning a large banquet event from the initial client meeting to the final billing?
Of course. I see it in clear phases. First is the discovery phase. I sit with the client to truly understand their vision, the purpose of the event, the guest count, and their budget. I ask a lot of questions to understand what success looks like to them. Then comes the planning phase. I create a detailed banquet event order (BO) that outlines every single detail, from the menu and room setup to the timeline and audiovisual needs. I collaborate with the kitchen and other departments to ensure we're all aligned. Next is the execution phase. On the day, I do a final walkthrough with my team, brief everyone on their roles, and then oversee the event to ensure it flows perfectly, handling any small issues before they become problems. Finally, the follow-up phase. I review the bill with the client to ensure accuracy and then send a thank you note, asking for their feedback to help us improve.
Excellent. Menu planning is a key part of that. How would you handle menu planning for a client who is unsure of what they want?
I would act as a consultant, not just an order taker. I would start by asking about the event's tone. Is it a formal gala or a relaxed corporate dinner? Then, I'd guide them by suggesting a few of our signature Renaissance dishes that have been popular for similar events, while also presenting seasonal options. I would explain the flow of a meal and how different dishes work for different service styles, like plated versus buffet. This collaborative approach helps the client feel informed and confident in their final choice, ensuring their guests have a wonderful culinary experience.
Let's talk about logistics. What do you believe are the 3 most critical elements for successful event logistics, and why?
In my experience, the top 3 are communication, timing, and preparation. Communication is a thread that ties everything together. The kitchen needs to know what the service team is doing, and the banquet team needs to know the client's last-minute requests. Timing is everything, from when the doors open to when dinner is served. A delay of even 10 minutes can affect the entire event schedule. And preparation means having a detailed checklist and, most importantly, a plan B for everything, from a microphone failure to a sudden change in weather for an outdoor function.
Building strong vendor relationships is vital. How do you approach building and maintaining relationships with external vendors, like florists or avenue companies?
I believe in treating vendors as partners. I prioritize clear, timely communication about our needs and timelines, and I make sure they have all the information they need to do their best work. I also believe in showing appreciation, a simple thank you, providing feedback on their work, and ensuring they are paid promptly. By being reliable, respectful, and professional, we build trust. which often means they will go the extra mile for our hotel and our clients when we need them most.
At the end of the day, client satisfaction is everything. What specific strategies do you use to ensure every guest leaves with a positive impression?
My focus is on proactive and personalized service. First, I ensure the staff is trained to be attentive but not intrusive, anticipating needs like refilling water glasses before they're empty. During the event, I personally make rounds to touch base with the host and key guests to ensure everything is to their liking. If a guest has a specific dietary need, I make sure that meal is handled with extra care. It's these small, thoughtful details that show we care about each individual, which leads to high satisfaction.
Managing a team is a core part of this role. How do you motivate your banquet staff, especially during a very busy and stressful event?
Motivation starts with respect and preparation. I begin every shift with a pre-event briefing, or line-up, where I clearly explain the event's importance, assign roles based on individual strengths, and let the team know I am there to support them. During the event, I lead by example, jumping in to help where needed. I also make it a point to give specific, positive feedback on the spot, like "Great job handling that table, Sarah." A simple thank you and recognizing hard work in the moment keeps morale high.
Let's discuss finances. Can you describe your experience with creating and managing a budget for a banquet department or for individual events?
Yes. For individual events, I start with the client's budget and work backward to allocate funds to food, beverage, labor, and other expenses, always looking for creative ways to maximize value without overspending. At the departmental level, I've been responsible for tracking monthly labor costs and operational expenses against our forecast. I believe in regular monitoring. If labor is running high one week, I can adjust schedules for the next to ensure we stay on track. This proactive approach prevents budget overruns.
No event goes perfectly according to plan. Tell me about a time you had to handle a significant last-minute change or unexpected issue during an event. What happened and how did you handle it?
Absolutely. Once, 30 minutes before a 300-guest wedding reception, the bride informed us that 5 extra guests had arrived and asked if we could add a table. A 300-guest setup is usually at maximum capacity for the room. I quickly assessed the space with my team lead. We identified a small service area we could temporarily use. We calmly and efficiently reset a corner of the room, set up a new table with the same high-quality linens and centerpieces, and informed the service team. The bride was relieved, and the extra guests never knew it wasn't part of the original plan.
That's a great example of quick thinking. What software or systems are you proficient in for event management, scheduling, and inventory?
I am very proficient in Delphi, which I've used for managing BOs and client traces. For scheduling, I've used systems like Hot Schedules to manage labor costs and staff shifts. For inventory, I'm comfortable using spreadsheet software to track linens, china, and glassware, ensuring we have parts set to avoid shortages. I'm also a quick learner and confident I can adapt to any new systems the Renaissance Hotel uses.
Quality control is paramount in a 5-star hotel. How do you ensure consistent quality in both food presentation and service throughout a large event?
It requires multiple checkpoints. Before the event, I do a pre-service inspection with the chef to approve every dish's presentation. During service, I'm on the floor, observing. I check that tables are being cleared promptly and that food is running smoothly from the kitchen. I also have my team leaders do the same. It's about having eyes everywhere and empowering every team member to uphold our standard. If a plate doesn't look right, they know to send it back before it reaches the guest.
Walk me through your process for creating a detailed banquet event order, BO. Why is it such an important document?
The BO is the Bible for the event. My process starts with gathering all details from the client and the sales team. I then create a document that leaves no room for interpretation. It includes the timeline, room setup diagram, menu with detailed descriptions, staffing levels, beverage orders, and specific instructions for the client, like the name of the contact person and VIPs to look out for. I then distribute it to all department heads, kitchen, stewarding, engineering, and hold a BO meeting to ensure everyone understands their part. It's crucial because it aligns every single person involved toward a common goal.
How do you manage inventory for all the banquet equipment, from linens to tables and chairs, to ensure you're never short on a big day?
I'm a firm believer in regular, physical inventory counts, not just digital tracking. I would implement a schedule for weekly or monthly counts of high-use items. This is combined with the par level system, which is the minimum quantity of each item we need to have on hand. If our inventory drops below that par, we know it's time to order or pull more from storage. This prevents last-minute scrambles. After every event, I also have the team do a quick count of any breakage or loss, so we can update our records immediately.
Health and safety are non-negotiable. What steps do you take to ensure your banquet operations are always in compliance with health and safety regulations?
It's about training, vigilance, and procedure. First, all my staff must be certified in food safety and responsible alcohol service. I conduct regular, brief training refreshers on key points like proper hand washing, temperature checks for food, and what to do in case of an accident. During events, I and my supervisors constantly monitor for hazards, a spill is cleaned immediately, and walkways are kept clear. Finally, I work closely with our hotel's safety officer to conduct regular audits and drills, ensuring we're always prepared.
Describe a time you had to manage a difficult or unhappy client. How did you turn the situation around?
I once had a client who was very upset the morning of her event because the welcome sign had the wrong font. She felt it didn't match her brand. Instead of focusing on the fact that the sign was technically correct per the contract, I listened to her concern and apologized for her stress. I immediately contacted our printing vendor, explained the urgency, and paid a rush fee to have a new sign made with her preferred font, delivered within 2 hours. She was incredibly grateful that I took her concern seriously and fixed it without argument. It showed her that her event's success was my priority.
When you have multiple events happening in the hotel on the same day, how do you prioritize your time and tasks?
I use a combination of delegation and strategic oversight. I start the day by reviewing the BOs for all events and identifying the most critical moments for each. Perhaps a VIP arrival for one, and a plated dinner service for another. I then empower my assistant managers and team leaders to manage the flow of their respective events, while I move between them, acting as a support and troubleshooter. Clear communication is key. We use radios to stay in constant contact, so I know immediately if one event needs my attention, allowing me to pivot quickly.
Can you give me a specific example of how you've successfully motivated your team during a particularly challenging event?
During a very large New Year's Eve gala, we were short-staffed due to illness. I could see the team was feeling the pressure before the doors even opened. I gathered them for a quick huddle and was completely honest. Tonight will be busy, and we're a man down. But I know this team, and I know we are the best. I will be on the floor with you every step of the way, abusing tables and pouring water, not in my office. Let's show these guests what we can do, and support each other. By working alongside them, sharing the load, and maintaining a positive, we can do this attitude, we got through the night successfully, and the team felt a huge sense of pride afterward.
Let's imagine a scenario. A guest is very unhappy because they feel their table is in a bad spot, like near the kitchen door. How would you handle this?
I would immediately go to the guest, listen to their concern with empathy, and apologize for their disappointment. I wouldn't make excuses. I would then quickly assess the room to see if there's a comfortable table we can move them to. If not, I would get creative, perhaps offer them a complimentary bottle of wine or a special dessert, and ensure they receive exceptional, VIP-level service for the rest of the night. The goal is to make them feel heard and valued, turning a negative into a positive memory of how well they were treated.
Another scenario, there's a sudden, partial power outage during a dinner event. The emergency lights are on, but it's dark. What's your immediate response?
First, I would remain calm. My demeanor sets the tone for the staff and guests. I would immediately get on the radio to my team. Stay calm, reassure guests, do not panic. I would dispatch someone to check with engineering, while I quickly find the event host to inform them of the situation and that we are handling it. I'd have servers use their phones or flashlights to safely navigate and would instruct the kitchen on food safety holds. Most importantly, I'd keep the guests informed with honest, calm updates. We're experiencing a technical issue, our team is on it, and we'll be back to full power shortly. This controls the narrative and prevents panic.
What is your approach to training a new banquet server? How do you ensure they understand the 5-star standard?
I believe in our see one, do one, teach one approach. It starts with a thorough orientation on our service standards, how to hold a tray, the correct way to clear a plate, how to interact with guests. Then, they are paired with a seasoned, senior captain who mentors them during actual events. I set clear expectations and check in with them frequently. After the event, I give them constructive feedback, praising what they did well and gently correcting mistakes. The goal is to build their confidence and skills gradually so they feel proud to deliver the Renaissance standard.
The events industry is always evolving. How do you stay current with the latest trends in banquets and events?
I'm passionate about the industry, so I love learning. I follow leading event designers and industry publications on social media and LinkedIn to see what's new. I also make an effort to attend at least one industry trade show or conference a year to see new products and hear from experts. Even dining out at other restaurants gives me ideas about food presentation or service styles that we could adapt. I believe in bringing fresh ideas to the table.
You have experience with both weddings and corporate events. How does your approach differ between these two very different types of clients?
The core principle of flawless execution is the same, but the emotional driver is different. For weddings, I take on a more empathetic and personal approach. It's about understanding the couple's unique love story and making them feel calm and special on their big day. For corporate events, it's about precision, professionalism, and efficiency. The client is often focused on branding, timelines, and achieving specific business goals. I adapt my communication style and focus to meet those different needs, ensuring both types of clients feel completely supported.
How do you ensure you're communicating effectively with the client throughout the entire planning process, not just at the beginning and end?
I believe in proactive communication. I set the expectation early by telling the client how often they can expect to hear from me. For example, a weekly status update email, even if it's just to say everything is on track. I use these updates to confirm details and ask for decisions. I'm also very accessible. I give them my direct contact information and encourage them to reach out with any questions, no matter how small. This constant, open line of communication builds trust and prevents any last-minute surprises.
Part of this role is maximizing revenue. What is your strategy for upselling our premium packages and services to clients without being pushy?
The key is to sell the benefit and the experience, not just the item. When a client is considering a basic menu, I might say, I know you want this to be memorable for your guests. For just a little more per person, our premium menu includes this incredible tableside seafood station, which always creates a wow moment and gets people talking. I use visual aids, like photos from past events, to help them picture it. By framing it as a way to enhance their event and delight their guests, it becomes a helpful suggestion, not a sales pitch.
My final question for you. How would you handle a disagreement between two of your team members in the middle of a busy event setup?
I would immediately and calmly step in. I would separate them briefly and say, let's take a moment. We have a lot to do to get this room ready for our guests. I would then pull them aside for a 1-minute private conversation, away from the rest of the team. I'd listen briefly to each person to understand the core issue, then refocus them on the common goal. Okay, I understand the issue. Right now, our priority is this setup. I need you both to put this aside, work together, and give our clients a beautiful room. We can discuss this further after the event. This stops the disruption, enforces teamwork, and shows that I will address the issue fairly, but later.
Well, John, thank you very much. That was a very comprehensive and insightful conversation. You've clearly demonstrated a deep understanding of what it takes to manage banquets at a 5-star level.
Thank you, Ms. Hayek. I truly appreciate your time and the opportunity to discuss how my experience aligns with the Renaissance Hotel's vision. I'm even more excited about the possibility of joining your team.
You're welcome. We have a few more candidates to interview this week. Our HR department will be in touch by early next week to let you know the next steps. Do you have any final questions for me?
Just one, if I may. What do you personally enjoy most about leading the food and beverage team here at the Renaissance?
I enjoy the people most of all, both our amazing team and the wonderful clients we get to work with. It's a dynamic and rewarding environment.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you again for everything.
It was a pleasure meeting you, John. Have a great day.
You as well. Goodbye.